Okay. Hello, everybody. So, we have a really special treat for you today. For all of you coaches, consultants, service based entrepreneurs out there, how would you like to add additional revenue streams to your business without having to go and do all more of what you're already doing to get clients? My guest that I want to understand for my business. So I'm like, if I want to understand it, I'm sure others do too, is Miss Melinda. And you know what? I should have asked you this. Is it Colin?
Cologne.
Colin? Cologne.
Yeah.
Okay. She is a specialist in getting government contracts for your business. So if you've ever thought, like, I wonder if is a grant even the right word, Melinda? But I wonder if there's a way that I could
Mhm.
get some funding for my
Mhm.
business that would help me, the long term by, I guess, serving. Let me back up, not funding in the sense of grants, but really more that you're going to actually serve on the government side contracts.
Yes.
Sorry, you
Yeah. Good
guys.
job.
I
Yeah.
Yes, because this was the conversation we just had, and I got confused again. So, so I'm not going to steal her thunder, but the bottom line is this: getting government contracts is far easier than you think it is.
Oh yeah.
And when you can have the right guidance, just imagine adding other ways to generate income to your business that can be like a lifelong thing. So, one of the things I hear from my clients a lot is like, I'm just going to hustle. I got to get more and I got to get more. What if you could
Mm.
have like a government contract, right? That goes on for years. And
Years.
so, um, without further ado, I would love to introduce you to Miss Melinda Colon. Colon?
Cologne. You did it good. Yes. Thank you
Awesome.
so much for having me here. I'm so grateful for our relationship, Jenna. And like here's the thing. Like if you've ever met me before, y'all, like I love Jenna. I love her. Love her, love her, love
I
her.
love you too.
She's like, yeah, just joy, peace, love. And she moves and walks like that. And so it's just, you can't help but to smile in the presence of Jana. So I appreciate you. But
Well,
it's actually not, it's not as, it's very common for people to get confused between grants and government contracts. And I
yes,
actually,
we just
let me talk
talked
about that.
about this and I still got
It's
it
totally fine.
confused.
Yeah, it's totally fine. It's kind of confusing, and it doesn't help that they're all like it's all coming from the same bucket of money. Okay, so let me explain a little bit about that. Okay,
Yes.
so a government contract is, like you said, it's delivering services and then getting paid for it. And we just call this business. Like we're just business owners, entrepreneurs. We have an offer, we sell the offer, and then we get paid for the offer that we sold. And that's a transaction. That's the contract. See, we actually do a lot of contracts. Like as regular people do a lot of contracts every day. How many of you love Starbucks? That's a contract. Every time you swipe your card, you're getting a receipt. That's a contract. They're delivering on something that you've purchased in exchange for money. And so it's just a government contract, just like a business contract, just like any type of contract. And so that's a government contract. Now, a grant is, let's say you want to build a school or you want to just create a program that you have envisioned that God has blessed you with, whatever, and you want to see it come through. And you're looking for someone to help you fund that plan that is not something that you're obligated to pay back. It's not a loan. A grant is not a loan. It is funds to go towards that project. That is a grant. So they're granting you money, and then there's one, this government contracts is like, it's a contract, it's an exchange
Mhm.
of something, goods or services. So those are the two. But it's very, very common that people get the two confused. So what I do is I help people sell their services to the government. Like what's really crazy, Jenna, is that it will make your mind do cartwheels when you see how simple it is. Like, we're not asking you to be anything other than who you are and sell what you already sell. And then you even get to pick what client you want to respond to. Like, let me give you an example. Department of Defense. A lot of people have some feelings about the Department of Defense, but go ahead and serve the Department of Health and Human Services, the Veteran Affairs, and that's just the federal level. What about your school district? What about where your
Mm.
kids go to school? They need your services. Listen, they need your services, right? Your police departments, your fire stations. And so it doesn't have to be this like big thing. It's actually just serving people that are saying, "Hey, can anybody fix my roof? Can anybody like sell us light bulbs? Can anybody sell us computers? Can anybody coach me on how to sell better? Can anybody like teach me how to use the internet or go on social media and create content that's actually like engaging?" Like these are all simple things, and these are all things that the government buys.
Which is
Isn't that crazy?
amazing. I'm so glad you're bringing it down to that more granular level
Yeah.
because it does feel just sort of big. And I think it for a lot of people, it probably make it just seems like super complicated, you
Yeah.
know? And so I'm so glad that you're here to sort of demystify some of that because I don't know about you, but every so often, maybe this sounds
Yeah.
familiar to some of you guys out there, like I assume things.
We all do.
And it often I've
Yeah.
been told that I am not correct. And
Mm.
so I would love for you to tell more about like, yes, face value, this is what it sounds like, but
Yeah.
tell us a little bit about your story because
Yeah.
I don't think you guys know. I'm going to brag on you for just a minute. Melinda is a genius and she is also brilliant and also an amazing human.
Mm.
And
Thank you.
so when when she talks about these sorts of things, like you'll start to see like how her mind works.
Yeah.
But I just wanted you guys to not like a big motto that my clients love, Melinda, is let it be easy, you know?
Mm.
Um and so I want you to tell them a little bit about yourself and then I would love to hear more about how they can make it easier for themselves
Yeah.
by
Yeah.
going after something that may even, dare I say, be low hanging fruit.
Oh my gosh. If government contracting was a tree, um, the fruit would be so heavy that it would practically touch the ground and you'd have a very small window to grab it before it spoils.
Wow, let's go. Okay.
Yeah. So a little bit about me. I was in a corporate 9 to 5 where my job was to win government contracts and keep entire departments of hundreds of people employed for a $7 billion company. And I was one of a few people in this entire organization that was doing this. But here's what's really interesting, Jenna. They didn't call it government contracting. They called it something else. Like, you know how that happens where you're doing something and you think you're doing one thing, but then there's like a completely different perspective on the other side that is way more valuable than what you could ever imagine or think. And so I'm sitting in that role. I'm blood, sweat, and tears putting together what never existed, a playbook, a system, so that I can help people keep their 401k and their jobs, right? To take those weekends off to travel with their kids during the summer. And I always thought to myself, like, why is this so complicated to explain to regular people of what I do? Because again, I didn't know it was government contracts. They actually call it in corporate America, they call it procurement manager, proposal manager. So these are just really like, what does that mean? Telling my family what that means during the holidays, it was like I had to draw it out. Like I had to be
Yeah.
like, okay, so anybody have a pen? You know, like I had to draw it out and say, this is what I do. I write proposals for multi-million and billion-dollar contracts. and so that my company can win them. And so fast forward, I had figured out a system, and it was so good, Jana, that other people from other offices in this huge $1 billion company, $7 billion company, found out about it. And I was on their speed dial. They're like executives with 300K salaries were like, hey, need your help. They were wanting to use my system. So after a while, I just said to myself, you know what? I've been pushing back on this dream for a really long time. And I'm going to share more about this in the masterclass. But I was saying no to the dream of starting my business for a really long time. 13 years is a really long time. And I finally stepped in and I started helping small and mid sized businesses win government contracts to the tune of $4.4 billion in my agency. Isn't it crazy? Just a few
It's
years.
crazy.
It changed people's lives. I saw people came in running a six-figure business that became millionaires, running a seven-figure business that became decamillionaires, that were running eight-figure business that became billionaires because they were winning these government contracts. And see, one of the mistakes that people make is believing that they need to become someone other than who they are to become of value to someone else. And that's a
Mhm.
lie. That's a lie. One of my clients, Aparna, I'll tell you the story. Aparna, she is amazing at what she does, very unique at what she does. Yet she had never won a government contract. And many people, like the majority of small businesses, have never done government contracting, nor even know what it is.
I don't even think we think it doesn't even enter our mind, which is why I love what you do and why we're doing this, because awareness is
Yes.
it's so important. So continue. Yes, please.
Speaking of awareness, okay, I can go on tangents forever, but I'll be really thoughtful of time. Speaking of awareness, if you've ever watched Mission Impossible, those are government contracts. He is
Really?
contracted by the government.
Yeah.
And it's just like, just like any, practically any movie like that's hero type saving, there is a government contractor involved in it. It changes everything. It's like, whoa. Recently my husband and I were watching that new Disney movie, the new uh I forgot, not the Fantastic Four. I'm terrible with the names, but we were watching the
Avengers?
Avengers, the new Avengers, whichever their names are. And it starts out with a government contract. Like, she is a government contractor. So, I mean, obviously, that's like the extreme. Iron Man, he
Melinda,
has a
did
government
you work
contract.
with the Avengers? Just it's okay. You can tell us. Oh.
Wink, wink. I'll tell you later.
Well,
um, yeah,
what I wanna say, just for anybody that's a couple things. I mean, we talked about, like, the fact that it's a lot easier, and I would love to hear a little bit more about that. But also, one thing I just have to bring this up because of what you're saying, like, so often I hear, right, from my clients, like,
yeah.
"My audience can't afford it." Um
Yeah, I can't wait. Yeah.
Nobody has any money. Everybody's worried about this. Everybody's worried. First of all, I'm like, well, what you think about, you bring about, and what you focus on grows. So let's start there.
Mm,
However, I think we can all agree, whether there's a national debt or not, the
yeah.
government still has money to
So,
spend.
yeah, yeah.
So
No, it's so like, what I love about people is our emotions. I love our emotions. I love that we feel, right? And the challenge with business is sometimes we have to be really thoughtful on what we feel and how it's impacting our lives. And so what I mean by that is we're not involved. Like a government contractor, for the most part, like unless you are a billion-dollar enterprise, you are not involved in administration. You're not involved in any of that. This is just, you're just selling goods or services to another company, basically. And that's all it is. Now, why a government contract even exists is to help stimulate the economy.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not there to just like it's a literally there to stimulate the economy. Recently, we had the interest rate went down. That helps to stimulate the economy, right?
Mm-hmm.
So these are all things that the big government is thinking like, how do we help people, stimulate the economy when they're not buying as much? And this because small businesses makes up 75 more than 75% of the entire market of businesses in the United States, it only makes sense to do government contracts.
Mm-hmm.
So they could do it themselves, they could, but it wouldn't make sense for the economy, right?
Right.
So that's just kind of like, I think I thought that too. I'm like, I don't want to get involved with politics and nonsense like
Right.
that. Like, I don't want to support that. However, if you are an artist who does these beautiful murals on this, and you could design this entire cityscape in your neighborhood, wouldn't you want to do something like that and bring your kids and family to take photos in front of it and know that you made a mark in your community? That's a government contract.
I
So
love that.
just so simple. And a lot of people just get stuck with the word
Yeah,
government,
I
but
think so.
really it's a hidden wealthy secret. It's a hidden wealthy secret. This is how businesses have gotten so big. The top brands in the world are all doing government contracts. They're just not talking about it because it's so normal. It's like tying their shoes. So, how do I make it simple for people? Well, I have a system called the GovCon sales strategy. You see, what's really cool about government contracts in any type of market is that you don't have to change your business. Like, the only thing you have to learn is how to sell to that market. That's it. You don't have to change your systems. You don't have to change your team. You don't have to change what you're selling. You don't have to change anything about your business, only that you learn how to sell to the government. That's it. That's all you got to do. Isn't that simple?
I love that. I love that too because I think that's probably one of the reasons, maybe in the past I'm like, I don't know, I'm not trying to put myself in a box. You know what I mean? Like, of course, our ego mind is all like black and white, like there's no
Yes.
gray. I'm
Mm.
now a slave to the government if I do it. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah.
there's a lot more. So I love that you're opening up just really this
Yes.
whole other way for people to support, not just support their business, but create more revenue and
Mm.
continue to just do what they're already doing. I mean,
Yes.
that's really all that we want, you
That's it.
know?
That's it. Like, this is what business owners do. We all do this. I'm a business owner, you're a business owner. And when we want to grow our business, we say we need more clients or we need to increase our prices. Well, once we've increased our price and we need to get more clients. Well, if we go to the same market and compete for the same client, that's a lot, right? It's still something that we want to do. We want to serve the people that we're called to serve. And also, we want to provide the value that we have to provide. Why? So that we can serve even more people. It could be a government contract that you get awarded that is just like you're saying, I am going to strategically use this government contract revenue to run ads for my business.
Right.
Simple, right? It doesn't have to be, come more complicated than that. And when we see it that way, start to see that, this isn't just an additional revenue stream. Now we're not reliant on one thing to run our entire business because that's a scary place to be, especially if you serve consumers, people who are just consuming your information, but also really scared, right? They don't have the backing of a business. They can't get a business loan. They can't grow their business because they don't have a business, right? If you're serving someone like that, that makes it even more difficult for you to grow your business. When you're working with small businesses, they're being impacted by the market, right? AI. I mean, there's just so many things that are out of our control. They're happening all the time, but we're still going to serve them. It doesn't change the fact that we want to serve these people. Well, we want to make sure that we're serving them well, like a lighthouse that is guiding a ship to the shore. How does it become a lighthouse? It has stability, right? So the third is how government contracts become that stability, that revenue stream. One of the contracts, like imagine for you, like if you're a sales coach and you're saying, okay, I want to sell coaching to the government. How would I do that? I mean, you could pick like where you are, and where you're located in your city, in your county, in your state. Reach out to them. They always need sales serve. Like sales is persuasion. Sales is understanding how to serve people. Sales is how to communicate better, right? And
Yeah.
so if we're framing it and providing the same exact thing that we're offering someone else, but to people that are making an impact to our world, then we get to be a part of the solution. Huge. So
Yeah.
that's what I'm trying to share with people is it's not a no for what you're doing now. It's an added way to get there faster. Yeah.
I mean, that makes so much sense. And, I'm thinking about like my sales job in medical sales. Like you just made a light bulb go off for me when we used to do that. Like we it was like a half and half situation. Like we had our private
Mm.
business and we had our public business. And that was a government contract.
Yeah.
Like I didn't even think about that. But it was like if
Yes.
we get, you knew like that
Yeah.
the public, you could only privately, there was only so much private business that you could get with the competition out there. But then there was this whole other segment that could make or break you as a sales rep. And that was whether or not
Mm.
you got the government contract and pulled that through. Question. I can't
Yeah.
believe. Yeah. Um, what can you get multiple government
Yes.
contracts?
There's no limit to as many contracts as you want.
So so this is really, if I'm understanding this is really a missed opportunity for a lot of people. If an artist can get a contract to paint a mural, chances
Mhm.
are whatever you're doing in your business with like
Yeah.
the littlest bit of effort and maybe guidance from somebody like Melinda that knows what they're doing, you can get this done.
Yeah.
And there's money that people want to give you to help you so that you can help them. And I love
Yes.
that.
Hey, let me ask you a question. So
Yeah.
you recently were traveling, right?
I was.
And you went to an airport
I did.
and you remember any art there?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Okay. Those are
Government
government
contract.
contracts.
I love it. Okay, so give me a scenario for okay, I was gonna say selfishly me, but I'm not. I'm gonna
Yeah.
say for like a mindset coach. Like how
Okay.
would that play out? 'Cause I'm just curious.
So, I mean, that's everywhere, right? So, when a mindset coach, and this is why I'm so great at what I do, is because I break down what the actual result you're delivering. So, as a mindset coach,
Mhm,
you're helping people think and have a different perspective on the
mhm,
outcome or the experience that they're having.
mhm.
Right now, there's new budgets that are being published, right? Going into effect soon. And a significant amount is focused on health and wellness, mindset health and wellness
Mm.
of employees. Now, this is not just one agency. So, like Veteran Affairs would totally be one that's not seasonal,
Oh, yeah.
long, ongoing. There would also be the Corps, like Marine Corps, Army Corps engineers, like they're always thinking of how we can take care of their veterans, right? So that's like on the federal side. There's so many opportunities, but if you're a mindset coach, how can you help a teacher or teachers in a school deal with the challenges of social impact in their classroom? How can you help them communicate better with each other and work together? How can you help the PTA be more strategic about how they come up with ideas for their kids to participate in that are not going to be detrimental to their health, right? So there's so
Yes.
many
So
things,
many different.
right? When you put that lens on, you're like, okay, I'm not looking for a contract that says mindset coach. I'm looking for the
How can
outcome
it be
that I'm going to.
applied in
Yeah.
all yeah. I love that, and you just made me think of one of my clients and what she does and how this could benefit her too. I mean, I see the light. Well, I know
Yeah.
we both have to wrap up here. Is there anything else you wanna share? And then I would love to
Yeah.
hear about what's coming up for you.
Yes. So the last thing I want to share before we talk about what's coming up is the fact that we don't have to be afraid of our impact. We were all
Mhm.
created to provide an impact in this world, and it doesn't have to be small. We get to decide it's small, but if we release the control over it, it could be really, really big. So if you're willing to let go of control over being small and you're wanting to impact the world and become what you were designed to be, then just learn, just look into government contracts, see what's available for you. At the very least, allow it to be a part of your business plan and just network, go to different events, meet
Yeah.
people, go meet your mayor. That's okay. They're not, celebrities and anything. They want to meet you because you're a business owner in their city who is doing business. They are 100% going to talk to you. So use that as an opportunity to connect and see how you can serve your people because they need you. No delay.
I love that, and I love how you brought it home to, like, even, like, at our back door, like, where we are. So many of the people I work with, and maybe, I'm sure those of you out there, like, you're like, "I just wanna help people." Like, I just wanna what a great way to do it in your own community too, you know? And so I love
Yeah.
that because and what I'm gonna say as a sales coach is if you haven't tried this avenue and you're like, "Oh, no, no, not making what I wanna make." Well, hey,
Mm,
this is an excellent way to really cushion some of that while you get more of the online thing really up and running,
yeah. Yeah,
because
100%.
that sometimes can take time. Whereas this sounds like, like you said, it's the low hanging fruit that's almost on the ground that you
Yeah.
could literally pick up and it would be perfectly ripe right now.
Yep. Right now.
One last quick thing. Do you have to go or
Yeah.
do you have a hard stop right now?
I do. I do have a
Okay.
hard stop.
Okay. Can you just
Yes.
tell me one last thing? Because I think people are gonna
Yeah.
wanna like, time frame. How long does
Mm.
it take to get approved? Just really quick, since you have
Oh
to.
my gosh. So there are so many types of government contracts. There are micro purchases that could be practically instantaneous to
Nice.
take 3, 6 months that are multi-billion dollar contracts. So it really depends on who you're selling to, what you are delivering, and the size of the project.
Okay.
But I
So,
talk all
basically, I'm
about that
hearing
in
all types,
masterclass.
no excuses.
No
You don't know
excuses.
what you
No.
don't know. Stop
Right.
making assumptions. There's a lot
Yeah.
of money on the table that you could have if you're just willing to understand this a little bit more.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Okay. So, with that, what you got going
Yeah.
on?
What I got going on is I have an upcoming masterclass called the Gov Scale Insider Masterclass. This is where I'm going to teach you how to scale your business with government contracts, make it the simple, easy, plug and play way so that you're not just trying to squeeze juice out of a dry market. You're actually just using what you already do in your business to win. And guess what? You don't need a lot of experience. You could have one client, and that would be considered past performance. That is very valuable. See, what Jenna is teaching is exactly what you need to win government contracts. So if you're interested,
Woohoo.
yeah.
Awesome. So we will make sure that all the links and all of that is below in the comments if you're on Facebook, because we're streaming on a couple different platforms. So I'll make sure you guys have all of that. And anything else before we wrap up?
No, I love you guys so much, and I want to serve you and want you to be a part of the big goal of helping my clients achieve $15 billion in client wins by 2030. And we're at 4.4. 4.5 is right around the corner. So if you want to be a part of that journey, I want to help you get there because that's my shared goal too.
Ah, well, in case you haven't noticed, Melinda has a heart of gold. And I would say if there's anyone that could help you and guide you through this space, it's her. And so if we've shared anything with you today and you feel like, you know what, this is worth a try, I at least want to find out, go to her masterclass so that you can get the lay of the land and figure out if this is right for you. But from what I'm understanding, like there's really just upside here. I mean, that's what
Mhm.
I see. And
Yes.
so, anyway, I appreciate you coming and
Yeah.
solving some of the problems in our own mind around, like, well, whatever, excuse, wah,
Mm,
wah, wah.
no more.
When really and
Yeah,
truly, there's so much more available to you if you're just willing to let it be easy. So,
yeah,
thank you, Melinda.
absolutely. Thank
Uh,
you. This is awesome. Love you guys.
awesome. Bye. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.